this up. Mr. Robertson, there is some people who are, some of your critics would like to know the answer to this question. You and the commissioner, Cornelius Robertson, are first cousins.
That's true.
Close, like brothers. And he made a block of a trade that would have given Jerome DeMarcus Murray. Do you think that had any impact on him not being able to win? Do you think the trade was appropriate? Was it shaded? Was it cousin looking out for cousin because they know it could have had a major impact? What are your response to your critics about that trade? And do there need to be an asterisk next to your name on the championship trophy?
First of all, there should never be an asterisk beside my name. Let's make that clear. Second of all, I don't have anything to do with what the commissioner does. I don't deal with trades personally. I've traded one time in this league in a 7-year history. As far as that trade was concerned, to be honest with you, I don't know the ins and outs of the trade. But when you look at it in hindsight, now that I got all the knowledge, personally I think that the trade that was revoked was not right. I think that trade would have put Jerome in better contention down the stretch to win it, but I'm not saying he would have won it. I think it would have put him in better position. You got to look at the totality of the situation, that DeMarco Murray would have gave him a bonus that every time he lined up against somebody to play, you could count on him giving you 25, 30 points. But if you was to add that 25 to 30 points up, from the time that trade was executed, I think like week 7, he still would have came up short if you would just take his 25 points and then taking away his 25 points, add 25 to the 7 weeks that was left, for 9 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. He still would have came up short. I didn't have any inside trader knowledge. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Who had inside trader knowledge?
I didn't. Corn called me, and he said Bucky wants to. Jerome and Bucky made a trade. Bucky thought about it, and he wanted to pull the trade off the table. And I said, okay. I said, but you know what you need to do. I said, you even though you're the commissioner, you can't have that authority without letting all the other league guys know. Which is true. I said, so you need to call and text everybody. He called and texted everybody and told them, this is what I'm about to do before I do it. So it would look like there was no shadiness or underhandedness going on. So he sent the text out to the league before he did it. What it was, from what I understand, was the trade they made a trade. Bucky decided that he didn't want to go through with the trade. He called Corn up, told him before, could you block the trade? Corn called me, he said, hey, what you think I should do? I said, you need to let the league know. Was that fair? I don't think it was fair to this man, because he had already positioned his team. He already had positioned his team based on that trade. And when you make a trade like that, verbally, when you make a commitment, he already had cleared space on his bench and let players go to the waiver wire that ended up hurting him. Now, I think DeMarco Murray would have made a difference in his team. It probably would have put him in contention to be in place to win it. But he still would have fell short, and we don't know if he would have won it. We don't know. So the bottom line is, to answer this question,
I feel like you presented a pretty good case.
It was wrong.
It was wrong.
Bottom line was, it was wrong. I think the man, and it's something the league got to learn from. I can tell you it won't happen again, but I mean, he keep putting salt in a bitter wound. He keep getting salt in a bitter wound, and that's never good.
Let me ask Jerome Benton a question. Jerome Benton,
You good?
I'd like to get your take. Do you think that, first question is, should Steve Robertson be the world champion in your fantasy football league?
Yeah.
Okay. If you had anything to say to the commissioner, Cornelius Robertson, what would you like to tell him in regards to the trade in your situation?
I would demand that never again
should a trade be ever sent through that's a fair trade, and it should be vetoed by the fact that the guy who sent the trade originally says he don't want to do the trade, he changed his mind. Now he sent the trade, he could have canceled that trade, or he could let the trade go through.
Well, let me ask you this question, Mr. Jerome. Do you think that there was conspiracy by the league, by you being a new participant, to keep you from winning the title?
Well, it looks questionable that I was in first place.
You wasn't in first place. I'm sorry. But you weren't in first place when that trade went through now. You weren't in first place at that time. You had fell to like second or third.
Second place, third place.
All right, let's get the facts straight.
To be in that situation, to make a trade. I made other trades because that trade didn't work out. So that had a snowball effect on my team. It had me reaching for a player, trying to build or better up my team that I would not have been doing had I gotten that player. That player would have solidified my roster. So I look at the whole thing, and I'm saying, like, why in the world would my trade be blocked? You know, and they said, well, something about 2 days, they gotta wait or whatever. I said,
seen y'all cousin that man. That's the biggest cousin y'all got, man.
yeah, big boy, yeah, he played football, yeah.
Let me ask you this, Jerome.
Still need him.
Is this going to put this situation to rest after this video recorded session between you and Mr. Robertson? Will this ever be spoken of again after this particular videotaping? Will this ever be spoken of again?
In my opinion, I think it's time to be put to bed. I think it's time to be put to rest. I think it's time to be put to sleep. I think it's time for him to move on. I think it's time. I think it's time for him to move on. I think it's time for him to let this go. He's dragging this on like the Gate, whatever you call it, Spygate. And here's what I want to say something. I just want to add an amendment to what he said. In all leagues, Roger Goodell has a right to step in, just like Commissioner Stern did, and block a trade. A la Chris Paul, when they traded him to the Lakers, even though he had took over his ownership of the Lakers or whatever. But my point is, the commissioner has a right. Yahoo, that's who we play through. They allow a two-day window for a trade to go through or not to go through. That has nothing to do with our league. That's the format that Yahoo has. Yahoo has a fantasy league. CBS has a fantasy league. ESPN has a fantasy league. The NFL Network has a fantasy league. We play in Yahoo league. And the rules state by Yahoo that when a trade is submitted, it takes 2 days for that trade to go through the cycle. The commissioner has the right at any time to review a trade. And if he feels like it's unfair, for whatever the reason, he can let both parties know. Was this trade unfair? Certainly not. This trade was not unfair. Would this trade have put him in position to probably win the championship? Certainly so. But like I said before, we would never know that. So why should we continue to hold our heads on false promises and things that we don't know? I moved on. The league has moved on. I'm sorry Mr. Benton here has a bit of sour taste in his mouth. Unfortunately, life happens. But what do? A real champion, if he feel like that's what he is, picks himself up, brushes himself off, and keep it moving.
But let me intervene right here.
Yes, sir.
You said to me right now that if he had gotten the trade, he still wouldn't have been in position to win the championship.
He would have been very close.
He would have been very close.
If you total up the points, DeMarco was putting up like 25 fantasy points a game.
All right.
And as a matter of fact, I think I had beat Jerome. I finished first. From first to fifth was what you finished. I beat him by 333 points. There was 333 points between the fifth place man and the first place man. So what I'm saying is, if you was to add that 25 up and just taking DeMarco, he still would not have been able to catch me. That's the point I'm making. It wasn't like he was in fifth place and I only beat him by 30 points. I had him by 300 points. It was a 300.
I didn't think you were that far.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was.
I don't think it was that small.
Well, what would you say it was, man?
You got probably a 200, 250.
No.
As I said,
No, you got the guys mixed up in front of you. You was down by me by 500, 300 some points.
Anybody got evidence for this?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find it. I got a new phone, so I gotta see can I pull it up. But I'm certainly gonna try.
Folks, we're attempting to put this to rest so we can go into 2015.
when his name comes out,
Can I get a handshake?
my drill out.
Can I?
Drill an asterisk right beside his name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see Grandma. I got to go up to play too. We thought she was here, and then she's not here, so I guess we'll have to
Okay, well, I
So he said he gonna bring you to Michigan.
Yeah, I'll take it down there. I bring, what's your boy in Detroit you like? Is he in Detroit, the preacher?
Oh, no, he ain't in Detroit.
That's
He
the
in
other one
Cleveland.
thing.
He in Cleveland.